Hello, everybody. Welcome to my review of What We Do in the Shadows, Season 2, Episode 6, On the Run. And we have a guest star in this episode, which I'm super happy about. And we come to find out, apparently, this guy is a huge What We Do in the Shadows fan, so it must have been a joy for him to be in the show. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, we start off at the house. Usually that's how we start off with. And they're in the yard. And Guillermo is painting X's on the ground for some reason. And he's going from Nadia, and then Laszlo calls him over. Coles calls him Gizmo. Calls him over, and then Nandor calls him over. And apparently, they're looking for the dead bodies in the ground. And well, it was Guillermo's idea because it's a health hazard. But the vampires are taking it as a fun game, and they're very happy that he came up with the game. Guillermo's just trying to say, look, it's a health hazard. We've got to find out about this. So, and I guess the reason by this decision was apparently, as you see yesterday, he was just talking about something going on in the house, and you can see in the background the mailman's coming up to deliver something. Well, the mailman finds a hole. Apparently, that's where something was apparently buried. As you can see, the mailman finds a hand. And Guillermo just pretty much upchucks all over the place. The mailman, as you can see, is having a fit. So back in the yard we go, and now Colin's getting into it because he thinks he found a real good one there. And all of a sudden, Laszlo's his lantern breaks. Someone threw a dagger at it, and into the yard lands another vampire. Now, scaring the tar out of the other vamps, our vampires. Who could this be? And Guillermo's on the side, getting ready to become like that vampire hunter. Now they don't know that Guillermo does this. So just remember this. They have no idea that he can do this. That he's like vampire hunter. And Laszlo, but the vampire tells him that he's not after Nandor, which Nandor's very happy about. Then he tells him that Nadia, well, I'm not after you either, and she's pretty happy about that too. And Colin's like, me? He's like, no, not him either. No, he's after Laszlo. And it doesn't bother Guillermo very much. And when he takes off his hood, there's our guest star, Mark Hamill. Luke Skywalker, the Joker. Well, you can call him whatever you want. And unfortunately, Laszlo has no idea who that is, and he has explained to him that he stiffed him on I guess he rented an apartment from him, and he stiffed him on his last month's rent and the security. So Nadia and Laszlo are talking about it, and she didn't want to go to California, but he had to go. It was a business trip. And what had happened was he went to California to make a deal with the devil at a certain cross in the roads. And at the end of that deal, he'd become a much better guitar player. That is the legendary story of Robert Johnson. Now, I know this because I'm a huge blues fan. I love the blues. Robert Johnson is considered one of the greatest blues players ever. He was a normal, everyday blues player, nothing great. And then one day he disappeared for a while. And when he came back, he's fantastic. He's a great blues player. And he made a deal with, the legend is, he made a deal with the devil to become and he sold his soul to the devil to become a great blues player. And his life ended tragically. And so that's the story of Crossroads. There is a movie called Crossroads. Not the Britney Spears one, but another one, the Ralph Macchio and Joe Seneca and Steve Vai's in it. And, man, it's a really good blues movie. I mean, a great movie. Check it out if you get a chance. And it's fantastic how they try to finagle their way out of the deal at the end of that movie. Check it out. Especially if you like the blues. Absolutely check it out. And that's when Nadia points out to him, I thought the Crossroads were in Mississippi. He's like, yeah, I was misinformed. So Mark Hamill's character is not very happy about that, and they want to solve this. So you either pay me or we basically fight. Fight it out. And Nadia's basically telling him, pay him. He's like, no, I'm not going to pay him. He goes, pay him. It's really funny. They're all saying pay him. And no, he'd rather fight. So they start the duel, and they're circling each other and baring their fangs at each other and doing some ridiculous little dance with each other. So they face each other back to back, and they got to take 10 steps, and Nandor's counting steps. And of course, as they're taking the steps, Laszlo takes off running. So Luke Skywalker, Luke Vampire, goes after him and lands in that hole where the mailman lands. So Laszlo gets away, and he ends up in the Fayette Fields Motel. And apparently, one of the rooms there, he has a stash there. What's in the stash? His disguise box. And he writes a letter to Nadja saying that he's leaving. I'm sorry, I gotta go, honey. That's it. It's like he goes, I gotta start a new life. And he pulls out his disguise, blue jeans and a toothpick. Best disguise ever. And he shows a picture of him back in the day. And doesn't he look like Harbor from the sheriff from Stranger Things there? I mean, he really does. Look at him. I was like, what? I thought for a minute I thought it was him. Like, I'm looking for Laszlo. Where is he? It's like, oh, that's him. But that looks like, okay. And they even show a painting of him with this toothpick. I guess you have to have the toothpick because that's the whole thing. So now we end up over to Clairton, Pennsylvania, in the Lucky Brews Bar and Grill. And we find Laszlo as a bartender, just making drinks for the customers. And now he goes by the name of Jackie Daytona. He's just a regular human bartender. What a great name, Jackie Daytona. And we meet Lucy, the waitress at Lucky Brews, who seems to really like him. No one can understand, everyone, they don't understand him, but they love him. They think he's really great. And by the way, the whole time this is going, Simply Irresistible by Robert Harmer's playing, which is fantastic. Great song, by the way. And everyone loves Jackie Daytona. And they even have a Billy Bass, which Jackie Daytona really, really, really likes. So, I don't know what that sign back there is. Frankie Blitzen performing his new single, Down on My Luck. I wonder if that's some kind of, I don't know, like a shout out. So, anyways, we also find out that Jackie Daytona loves volleyball. And he's a big fan of the Bucks. That's the high school team, I guess, in the area. And the coach, Swanson, she was saying that they weren't very good, but then he shows up and all of a sudden the ball start landing where they should and everything, they're winning and it's fantastic. And he even has a cowboy hat. He bought himself a truck. He's got the part down, Pat. He even got in a fight with some bikers who were being rowdy. Well, they weren't rowdy. That's Wayne the biker. And they were just in town for charity for Toys for Tots. For some reason, he beat the crap out of him. I don't know why. He just did. And in the bar, he hid all the windows. Mirrors. I'm sorry, all the mirrors. I got that confused there. Because of course vampires don't show a reflection, so he had to. And they thought he was just being humble, that he didn't want to look at himself. So that's kind of weird, but okay. So, anyways, we see where he sleeps now in a fridge, a big box fridge. Guess you gotta do what you gotta do. So, the night of the regional volleyball finals, they make it. They make the finals. It's fantastic. Everyone's happy. They thank Jackie Daytona. Jackie Daytona's like, hey, no, it's okay. What's this applause for? And Lucy gives him the googly eye, so I have a feeling Lucy has a crush on Jackie Daytona. But bad news, they can't go because they don't have the money, and Jackie Daytona has a fit, throws down his beer glass, and has to go outside for a breath of fresh air. So as he's sitting out there, he's gonna say, I'm gonna come up with something. He goes, he loves his town, and he's gotta figure something out. He heads back inside and he starts to talk to Lucy. And, he's got to start finding an idea, but he doesn't know what it could be. So Lucy steps by him, starts singing, and gives him an idea. He is going to run a talent show. So he goes back to the volleyball court and talks to everyone there and says, that's what we're going to do. We are going to have a talent show. And Lucy's still giving him all the googly eyes. She has a serious crush. That guy over there to the left, he looks pissed. I just realized that. Look how mad he looks. So they have a talent show for the next night. It's for $5, and they're going to try to raise money for the Bucks so they can go to the finals. So they head outside and they start, hammering out, putting up flyers all over the place. They're even handing them out flyers. He's even hypnotizing people. And he's got his cowboy hat on. That hat's better than the cursed hat. I can tell you what. He's even got gloves on. Check him out. He's trying to be very cowboyish. And by the way, so did you know that Laszlo is fantastic at hand puppets? Because now we do, and man, that looks like a bat. Not only that, he's got an even better trick. He can make it fly on its own. Man, he's really good at hand puppets. And by the way, there's another thing in the back there, a poster back. Tommy Chatswick. I wonder if that's another shout out. I don't know. I have to look that up. So anyways, we head back home to Staten Island in the house, and they're all playing cards. Poor Guillermo has to stand there while they play cards. And as they're going along, Nadja just she can't take it anymore. She runs off. She misses her Laszlo. And as she goes back to her room, she's venting to Nadja Doll. Nadja Doll is trying to help her out. And then in comes Colin to try to comfort her. And as he's comforting her, he gets the wrong idea. And he tries to lay one on Nadja, who surprises the heck out of Nadja. Nadja, no. no. Even Nadja Doll's like, yeah. and Colin has to explain it, that it's the awkwardness. Colin Robinson, yeah, I have to say Colin Robinson. You can't say Colin on its own. He tried to explain it. He actually was, feeding. The awkwardness really is what it was. It's like awesome to get that awkward kiss, which it wasn't. We all know it wasn't. I think he has a slight crush on Nadja. So then he tries to make a move on Nadja Doll. And by the way, he calls her Nadja Doll. I've been calling Nadja Doll from the beginning. So I called it. Yahoo! So anyways, Nadja Doll totally rejects him, which kind of hurt. As he even admits that kind of hurt. Nadja Doll hurt. So we head back to the bar, and who shows up at the bar? Luke Vampire. Luke Vampire shows up and kind of freaks out Laszlo. So Laszlo gives him a beer. Who I didn't think vampires drank beer. They don't, because as soon as he turns his back, he throws a beer over his shoulder and pretends like he drank it, and kind of throws Laszlo off a little bit. He's like, wait a minute, what'd you do there? So he starts explaining why he's there, that he's after somebody. He is looking for someone. And as he turns, Laszlo does the same thing. Whoop! Out the beer goes. And he's just telling how horrible a person this is, and this is a terrible guy, and I really need to find him. And Laszlo, calm down. I'll keep my peepers open for him. So Luke Vampire hands him a card and tells me, call me if you see somebody out. He goes, no problem, Jim the Vampire. And he stops dead in his tracks, and he turns around. And he's like, how'd you know my name? Well, it was on his card. So now we know his name, because I don't think I heard his name at the beginning. So Luke Vampire's character is named Jim the Vampire. That's his calling card, Jim the Vampire. Okay. So, night of the talent show. We head to Lucky Brew's Bar and Grill. And so as we go in, we come to find out that the talent show has raised all the money. That is a lot of loot in those baskets. That is a lot of loot. And so Lucy comes up to start singing and dedicates her song to Jackie Daytona. How sweet. I told you she had a crush. I knew it. And who walks in? Jim the Vampire. And now his name is Jim the Vampire, not Luke Vampire. Even though I like Luke Vampire pretty good. So Jim the Vampire walks in. And kind of, Laszlo looks like the jig's up. And he goes, no, the jig's up. He goes, if you mean the volleyball team getting the money to go. He goes, yeah, the jig's up. And he's like, oh, you're referring to them? He's so happy. He's like, oh, thank God. I thought you knew who I was. He's very happy about it. He goes, let me get you something to drink. As he does, the towel on the mirror, God dang it, the mirror falls off. And there's no reflection of Laszlo. There's only a shaker there, which gets Jim the Vampire's attention. And he's like, aha! He goes, charlatan. And he doesn't recognize him until he takes his toothpick off. As soon as he takes his toothpick, it was you the whole time? So basically, the toothpick is like glasses to Clark Kent Superman. So everyone says it all the time, that the glasses, how can anybody not fall for that? Seriously, I mean, you take the glasses, seriously, there's no way you can't tell that's Clark Kent Superman. You see in the series Supergirl, the same thing. It's so damn obvious. Well, apparently the toothpick does that. So they get pissed off each other, and the fight starts. They bare their fangs at each other, and off they go. And they're just fighting in the bar, and everyone now realizes they're vampires. And Laszlo smashes a cue ball on his head, and they grab cue ball sticks, and they're going to sword fight, and they decide, so they break the sticks, and they're going to use the sticks. I guess a stick fight. Well, no. they use them as crosses. As we all know, vampires can't stand crosses. As you can see, there's a little bit of smoke coming out of the hands, and it burns their hands. Dumb vampires. Oh, they're funny. So Laszlo yells, "You're fired!" He goes, "That doesn't even make sense. I don't work for you." And he blows this big fireball at him, and it hits the way to go Bucks thing, and that's when Jim the vampire's like, "Oh, I get it now." And unfortunately, it catches fire and it falls on the money. And so they both try to put the fire out because, they wanted the volleyball team to go to the states, state finals. And Laszlo jumps into action, and that little squirter ain't going to do it. So they sit there after the fire, and they kind of make up, and Laszlo says, "I'm going to pay you back." And he gives him the Billy Bass. Tell him it's one of a kind. He's never seen one before. Jim the Vampire's never seen one before. And he is enamored by it. He goes, "I will take this." And they shake hands, and they're happy, and he's super happy he has Billy Bass. He's tickled to pink that he has Billy Bass. Like it's the only one of its kind. So Laszlo wakes up Lucy and explains to them, "Look, I'm sorry, it never would have worked. 1, I'm married, and 2, I'm a vampire." And Lucy proceeds to pass out again. So Laszlo says, "It's time to get out of here." He jumps in his truck and proceeds to crash it. And he gets out and he says he probably should have learned to drive since this thing's so expensive. Laszlo never knew how to drive. We learned something about Laszlo. How about that? So he takes bad form and flies home. And he walks into the doors, and Nadja is super happy. She is hugging him and just the happiest person in the world. And Nandor goes by and says, "Welcome back, Laszlo." And he goes, That's it? That's all I get?" Nadja's licking his fingers for some weird reason. Nandor's like, "That effing guy. I said welcome back." So they run off to the boudoir because they're both horny, especially apparently Nadja. And Laszlo just basically explains that he found a way to get the money for the volleyball team. He burns down Lucky Brew's bar and grill, sets it on fire, and off he goes. Unfortunately for him, there was someone inside, so he had to burn another building down to pay for his funeral. So, and then he had to apparently mind wipe every person in that town, so they didn't know about vampires. And the volleyball team got a new coach, Jim the Vampire. And Laszlo put in a good word for him, so now he's the coach. Not only a coach, he's a gym coach. That's awesome! What a great jacket. I wonder if they're going to sell that, because that's fantastic. Oh, and he's carrying his Billy Bass around too, by the way. He can't go anywhere without. It's like his teddy bear or his comfy blanket. Gotta have his Billy Bass. So back at home, they're in their boudoir, and they're role playing, and he's like, "Hey," first he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "It's me," and he takes his toothpick out. "Oh, Laszlo," and then he puts it back in, and he goes, "I'm Jackie Daytona," like I'm Bond, James Bond. And the whole time Nadja Doll's watching it. That's kind of creepy, by the way. She's watching the whole thing. I wonder if even Nadja knows. Maybe she does. Maybe she rolls that way. I don't know. So then we head back to the volleyball game, and he breaks his Billy Bass. Jim the coach, Jim the Vampire, breaks his Billy Bass. He is heartbroken that he's broken his Billy Bass. But that's when the coach explains to him, "Well, I'll bring one to you. Bring one to you tomorrow. We got them all over. You can buy them anywhere." Then he realizes that Laszlo put a fast one on him, and he screams. I think he says Ravenclaw. I'm not positive what he screams. So when he screams in the high heavens, I wonder if we'll ever see him again. I hope we do. He's pretty funny. So that's the end of the episode. So what do you guys think? What did I think? I liked it. I thought it was really good. It was a Laszlo-centric episode. And I like his character, the Jackie Daytona. What a great name. And the whole toothpick shtick is fantastic. Just like Superman. Puts the glasses on. Where did Superman go? Clark, have you seen Superman? Takes the glasses off. Whoa, there's Superman. Where did Clark go? Same thing with the toothpick. Jackie Daytona has a toothpick in. "Hey, Jackie, what's going on?" Takes it out. "Whoa, what did you do with Jackie Daytona?" That was so good. And it was funny to watch Colin hit on Nadja. It was so awkward. I knew that was going to happen when it was going on. I'm like, oh no. It was so awkward. Oh my gosh. So And Mark Hamill was a great character. And from what I heard, he's a humongous fan of the show, which is he must have had a blast playing it. So I'm really happy to see him on there. I love all these guest stars. It's so good, so good. So what'd you guys think? I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a really fun episode. It showed a pretty good side to Laszlo. And one of the things about the whole Jackie Daytona thing is how beloved he was. How he got into character so much that they loved him so much that he could have lived that life. If they didn't find out what he was and this whole Jim the Vampire thing didn't happen, he probably would have stayed there for all we know. He was really entrenched there. By the way, he was only gone for about a week. Who would have thought? A week. It seemed longer. Only a week. So I'm like, oh, okay. That's weird. But what'd you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I thought it was a really fun episode. What'd you think of Mark Hamill? I really like Jim the Vampire, and I hope they show him more. So thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you come back and watch more of my reviews because I'm really having fun doing them, and I'm really enjoying the show. So thank you very much. I hope you all are doing well in this hard time, and I will see you again on another review of What We Do in the Shadows. Bye-bye.